Number 11, this is an integrating essential skills question, and it tests your understanding of proportions. Samantha, Nyla, and Jerry own shares of stock in the Triumph Hotels Company. The shares of stock that they own have a combined value of 6,880. Samantha owns 70 shares, Nyla owns 50, and Jerry owns 40. So Samantha owns 70, Nyla owns 50, and Jerry owns 40. So in total, how many shares are there? There's 70 plus 50 plus 40. That's 160 shares. Notice that, well, there's 160 shares, and they're asking what is the value of the shares Samantha owns. So the proportion here is 70 over 160. So 70 over 160, or basically 7/16. We know that 8/16 is 1/2. So it's a little bit less than 1/2. And the total amount is 6,880. So a little bit less than half of that. Half of that would be 3,440. So then if we go here, we know that it can't be those two. Those are too high, and those are way too low. So without even calculating it, we got to the right answer because the other answer choices were too far off. So what you could have done was 7 over 16 times 6,880, and you would have gotten 3,010. But you don't have to do that. All you have to do is just think about it. If it's a little bit less than 1/2, then it's going to be a little bit less than half of 6,880, which is around 3,500. If you go to the answer choices, the only one that's close to that is C. Number 12, this question is an integrating essential skills question. It tests your understanding of the number line and inequalities. A new club wants to attract customers who are at least 18, so at least 18, but less than 30 years of age. One of the number lines below illustrates the range of ages in years the customers the club wants to attract. Which number line is it? So we know the number has to be greater than or equal to 18, but less than 30. And right off the bat, those cannot be the answer choice because those are less than 18. So quickly, we narrow it down to F and G, and we look at the difference. And the difference is that there is a solid circle or dot on 30, and there is an open circle on the 30 in G. And since we're looking for just less than, not less than or equal to, it should be the open dot, so the answer is G. Number 13. Number 13 is a geometry question, and whenever you get a geometry question, the first thing you should think is, can I approximate? And when they give you a diagram or a chart or a graph, then that should be the first thing you do. So what are they asking for? In the figure below, if the figure shown below, E and G lie on AC. Actually, I'm not going to read this. I'm just going to go straight to what is the length of AC in feet. So AC is the entire thing. So what is the length of the entire thing given that this is 12? Well, if that's 12, from E to G looks like a little bit less than 12. I'll say it's about 10. And if that's 10, G to C looks a little bit less than that. I'll say it's 8. So 12 plus 10 plus 8 is 30. So I look at the answer choices, and obviously that's way too small. That's too small as well. Even 21 is too small. 36 is also too big. And the only reasonable answer choice is 30, which is what we were looking for based on our approximation. And so this is the answer. Now, you could have actually done some calculating. You could have seen that since all of these triangles are part of one large triangle, they're actually similar triangles, meaning they have the same proportions in terms of their side lengths and their angles. And so what that means is 12 over 6 should be the same thing as AG to AF. But you can see it here, 6 to 12, 5 to 10, 4 to 8. Those will be your lengths, and then you can just add those numbers up. But you don't need to do that. All you really need to do is approximate, especially with geometry questions. If this is 12, this is a little bit less than 12. I said 10. A little bit less than that, I said 8. And add those up. And the only reasonable answer choice was D. Number 14, this is a number and quantity question. It's fairly easy. You can approximate, or you can just plug this into your calculator. So the square root of 50, which of the following integers is closest to the square root of 50 over 2? The square root of 50 is kind of like the square root of 49, which is 7. So you're going to have a number like 7 over 2, which is around 3.5. So if that's the case, 3.5, it's going to be one of those two answer choices. And since 49 is less than 50, it's going to be a little bit more than 7. It'll be like 7.1 or something like that. And so it has to be a little bit more than 3.5. So let's just say it's 3.6, which is going to round up to 4 and not round down to 3. So the answer is G. But you can also just plug this into your calculator and you would have probably gotten the right answer. I'll do that right now. The square root of 50 divided by 2 is 3.53, which would then round up to 4. Number 15 is an algebra question. It tests your understanding of ratios. The ratio of Jane's age to her daughter's age is 9 to 2. So whenever we're working with ratios, and we have Jane and we have daughter, the ratio is 9 to 2, which means that it could be 18 to 4, or it could be 27 to 6, right? So I'm multiplying by 2, multiplying by 3, multiplying by 2, multiplying by 3. It's in this ratio. The easy way to do this is to just say x, 9 times x, and 2 times x. So when it says that the ratio is 9 to 2, you can express that as 9x to 2x. So if that's the case, the sum of their ages is 44. So 9x plus 2x equals 44. How old is Jane? Well, let's just solve this equation. 11x is 44 divided by 11, x equals 4. So then we have to plug that back into Jane's age. So 9 times 4, which is 36.